In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make my ruby rosebud and turn it into an Escort card. The supplies you're going to need for this are 65-pound cardstock, scissors if you plan to hand cut with the printable PDFs or a cutting machine. You can use the SVG cut files for those, a wood dowel to roll the petals, the templates which are linked below this video in the description, a glue gun, my rolling tool and mat set which is optional, and a pen which is optional if you plan to turn these into Escort cards that I'm going to show you at the end of this tutorial. And let me show you what that looks like here real quick before we get started on building the rose itself. This is what we're going to turn it into at the end of this tutorial. And if you're using a cutting machine, then you can find the measurements in the description below as well. Okay, here's my ruby rose flower that we're going to be creating in this tutorial here, and you can use these for bouquets or anything you want. And at the end of this tutorial, I'm also going to show you how to just add on these leaves to turn it into an Escort card as well, if you'd like to use those for a special event like a wedding or something. You're going to need 6 of the petal layers cut out. And once you have these cut out, you're going to take a thin dowel and you're going to roll the petals. Just roll them back and forth so that you're creating dimension with the shape of each of these petal points here. It's pretty easy to do, and if you don't have a dowel, you can also use something like a spare glue stick or even like a thin pencil or marker that's shaped similarly, just to be able to get these petals rolled in a 3-dimensional direction. So go ahead and do that with all 6 exactly the same way. Alright, so I have all 6 of my petals now ready to go and rolled, and you want to choose one of them and then just give it, the first piece will be slightly flattened a little bit because we want it to make it progressively tighter into a bud. And I am using my Paper Blooms shaping mat and tool set here. This is my own personal product, and you can find it linked below this video if you're interested in purchasing it. If you do purchase it, you can roll the center as I just did, and it helps the petals kind of naturally stand up and give it a little bit of 3-dimension. If you do not have this and do not wish to purchase, then just go ahead and bend the petals up with your fingers, and you can achieve a fairly similar look even without the mat as well. Go ahead and place the second layer on top of the first after adding a dot of glue on the back, and then continue with the third layer the same way. As you go, you want to just progressively make the petals a little bit tighter and stand up a little bit further each time so that our bud is getting tighter as we layer these together. You will notice as I am placing these together that I am not directly stacking them, I am alternating the petals between one another as I am layering them. So make sure you're doing that so that it looks like it's blooming and it looks nice and natural and pretty the way a rose should be. I got to my 4th layer now, and you can see that I'm twisting it a little bit here just to be able to, again, get those petals to stand up more and to start to form a tighter bud center here. And after you get past the first like 2 or 3 layers here, the mat becomes a little bit even more optional than it already is, because we're using our fingers to just get things to stand up and be a little bit tighter as we build the bud up here. So I'm moving on to my second to last layer here, and you're going to notice with these last 2 pieces I fan the petals together and then I twist. So make sure they're all flowing the same direction, and you'll be able to sort of pinch the bottom and twist the petals together, and this is just ensuring that the paper is going to stay upright, and when you glue it in, it's not going to just fall open and not look like a center rosebud. So add a bit of glue to the back of one of those and then place it inside of your rose's center. This is our second to last piece, so just open it barely so that you have just enough room to get that last layer that we're going to put in there in just a second. So I have my last petal layer here, and you can see I'm just fanning them all the same direction here and twisting it. And you want to make sure this one is nice and tight, and pinch the bottom really, really well so that that center piece there stays nice and tightly rolled together. So our rosebud looks like it has a nice, beautiful center to it once we're done. And then just add glue to the back and place that last piece inside the very center. It can be helpful to use your thin wood dowel to sort of push it down and make sure that it makes good contact with the glue and the base, and it gets it kind of evened out there. And adjust any petals that you feel need adjusting a little bit. And there you have it. That is our Ruby Rosebud paper flower. And you can see how simple and fast they are to make. And you can make a lot of them for lots of different projects like bouquets and other things. So they're just really fun and wonderful. And in the next step, I'm going to show you how to turn this into a simple escort card for a wedding, because that's just one of the many uses of them. But I really like this effect. So I have 2 leaves cut out here, and if you want to know the measurements I use, they're below this as well, and below this video, excuse me. And you can hand write with a pen, or you can write with your cutting machine. So whichever you prefer there as well, you can do either. And I'm again using my Paper Blooms shaping mat and tool set here, and I'm flipping the leaves over on the back side that will be the back side once the escort cards are created. And I'm just adding some veins and ridges to the paper so it makes the leaf look a little bit more realistic. Let me see if I can get like a zoomed in shot there. You can see kind of the ridges, and in person it's even more pronounced where you can see it better. And I'm doing the same thing with the larger petal the larger leaf as well. So this tool set just has a lot of different functions. If you don't do this, you can just fold. If you don't have this set, you can just go ahead and fold the leaf down the center to give it a little bit of dimension as well. So if you don't have this tool set, that's perfectly fine to do it that way too. And then I'm going to glue these 2 leaves together before I add the rose on top of it. So I'm just going to get a visual here of how I want it to be placed. And then I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back of the smaller one and just angle it onto the bigger one and place it there. And then I'll place my last bit of glue right in the center of those leaves and place my rosebud right over the top of it and let it dry. And you can see this is a really pretty way to create an escort card. And you can make a lot of them, and they can look really gorgeous for any special event. I'll see you guys next time. For freebies, visit abbykirstingcollections.com or shop this template on catchycolorflies.com.